Wagwan everybody, my name's D-Lux and this is Don't Get Hit With A Brick. It's a little show where we talk about two topics that are interesting me at the minute, and then I just give my 2 pence, some thoughts and potentially some solutions. I've got quite a few stories to go through. I'm going to try something a bit different this time, where I will include some video footage of the subjects that I'm talking about. Again, we're still in the learning phase, so bear with me. A topic that's really bothering me right now, is digital ID, innit? Let's start with this.
What do you want? Freedom! When do you want it? Now! No digital ID! No digital ID! No surveillance state! No surveillance.
Digital ID is something where the UK government want to basically put everyone's passport, driving license, banking information, basically a one-stop shop for you. So you see how YouTube's a one-stop shop for content. You got short form content, you got long form content, you got funny stuff, you got bad stuff, you got violence, you got everything. That's digital ID is the equivalent, but for a human. So it's gonna have your driving license, your criminal record, your money, your bank system, everything, and it's going to be used to track you because it's going to be on your phone. Keir Starmer wants to introduce it in 2029, and basically this is just a form of control. COVID-19 was a trial run. COVID-19, they used it, the NHS app to track you where you're going. Everyone fell in line with it. So that's why now they're trying to push the boat further. Like, the UK government's like a child, or even your gal. They'll shit test you. So they'll push you, poke you a little bit, push it, and see how far. Actually, let's not even try and make it gender. It's like humans, because it's run by humans, right? So they'll push it to see how far they can go until you snap. And we've let it go too far to the fact that they actually think they can address this. There's been close to 3 million signatures signed on our signature for them to address it in Parliament that we don't want this as British citizens. And you know what their response was? It was a shrug. They shrugged it off. They don't really business. So that's why we've decided to, when I say we, the British public that are opposed to digital ID, have all banded together to protest it. And let's be honest, protests don't really mean shit. Yeah? You're thinking, why would he say that? Why are you saying protests don't mean shit? You're gonna break the morale of the population. You talk about positivity, and yeah. Just because I said that they don't mean shit, don't mean that we shouldn't do them, but protest is the first step of resilience. Right? So a lot of people think protest is the end all be all. If you protest, you're gonna get a pattern. If you protest enough, it's gonna pattern. No. What a protest is actually used for, and Dr. Umar Johnson even spoke about this one time, is protests are used to make the world aware of what our position are as citizens of the nation. So we are protesting digital ID. So we're letting the world know that we are opposed to digital ID. The next step to resilience or social justice is, and yeah, it's a sacrifice. Life is built on sacrifice. We sacrifice every day. We sacrifice our time for money. We sacrifice our peace of mind for the grind. We sacrifice money to keep our girl happy. We sacrifice food to stay in shape. So it's a sacrifice, and the only way they're gonna feel it is if we don't comply. So yeah, we've done the protests, we've made it aware that we don't want digital ID. Cool. What have they done? They've ignored it. You haven't heard no British media really reporting it. You've only heard a couple of the few of the independent media outlets like myself on social media and YouTube that are talking about it. And that's a telltale sign to say they don't give a fuck and they're going to do what the fuck they want to do. But we got to do what we need to do and do it how it needs to be done. Do you get what I'm telling you? So let's get the conversation away from protests. We've done the protests. We know still continue to do the protests, but at the protests, we have to get everybody that's attending know what the steps are. And also with protests, you're meant to have demands. The protest with demands, clear demands, 1, 2, 3 demands of what you want. I got so much to say about politics in the UK. I'm not a politician, I'm not a professional by any of means, but I have my opinion. I live in this system, and I feel a type of way about certain things. So I'm gonna say how I feel about certain things. Give my opinion and how history has gone on and how I've seen things progress and move on and how progress has been made happen. So digital ID, I'm not gonna stop talking about it because I'm heavily opposed to it. I always talk about God and religion all the time, and it's just another step closer to the end times. I'm a strong believer that the more and more they put control on us, is the closer and closer we're getting to the end of the... This is just basically not really to raise awareness, but it's trying to focus what we are like. Yeah, we're like a spread light, like a light that's just spread out. What we need to do is we still have all that light shining, but focused down. And you see what the focus does? If you use a magnifying glass on the sun, set fire, fam. I'm not calling for no violence, band of violence. Violence is a last resort thing in terms of like when you're threatening your life, yeah? So let's move away from the violence and let's go with practical solutions, our society and how we're living. So this ain't the last video I'm gonna be doing on digital ID. So get used to me talking about it until I'm gonna try to do some things in my community, and then hopefully it can grow and people can copy it, or I can collab with some people to get to the broader conversation of black politics in the UK, man. Because at the end of the day, we don't really have a voice in politics. We have the conservative leader who's a black woman, but at the end of the day, she don't really serve us. She serves the political agenda. So what we need to do as black people is put some money in a pot and start lobbying our own politicians to come. But yeah, that's all I've got to say for today on digital ID. I've got a lot more thoughts, but I'm gonna keep it short. I don't want this video to be too long. So there's another video from DJ A Online, yeah? And he's talking about he wants to have a vasectomy.
I really found it difficult to make this video and try and find the right words. But here we go. I'm 40 years old. I've got 2 children. Kai's 15, Ree is 16. And I've decided that I don't want any more children. I'm done. And it's time to have the snip, otherwise known as a vasectomy. Now, some people will be like, oh, like, you're crazy. That's wild. You don't need to do that. There's other ways. But for me, you know, I'm on an incredible journey right now. And to be able to travel, meet different people, give opportunities and do all my give backs, like, it's just a great journey. And having more children, it does petrify me. I'm not gonna lie, like it.
My thoughts on vasectomies. In all honesty, I'm against them, bro. Real talk, I'm against them still. Like, I'm against abortion. I don't have any kids myself, but me growing up in a family of 6, 7, if you count my other brother, got different mums. Family is like the most important thing to me. Do you understand? Like, when I'm around with all my family, they don't all live with me now, obviously, because they're all grown, got their own yards and their own picnics. Bro, it's the best thing ever, man. I want a big family. Yeah, it's quite a personal topic. Like, everyone, why would God have given us the capacity to have kids and then wait aside to then go and create medical procedures? What's going on? Like, you ain't doing what you need to do and doing it how it needs to be done. Like, this ain't something that you should be doing. Like, I feel like God's given us this right, this ability to have kids as much as we can for a reason. We're meant to multiply. I get it, cool. We don't have the bread to look after how many kids, and we are at the age we want to do. We want to do what we want to do, and we want to do it. But we shouldn't all be for self. Like, even sex in itself, yeah, like, I love sex, bro. You can ask anyone. Like, I used to be a madman outside, like, and inside now, innit? But the whole point of sex is to have kids. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you're married and you have a relationship with someone, to have sex, the goal of having sex is to have kids. So it's kind of a sticky one. You get what I'm trying to say, innit? Like, I feel like this is something that's been given to us by God as a gift. Women, they have a certain amount of eggs, so that they're only allowed, they can only have a certain amount of kids or a certain amount of times they can get pregnant in their life. Men were able to impregnate as many people as we can. And your wife can't have any kids no more, then cool, you're not gonna have no more kids. You could just Clark, you want to Clark, do you get me? So the fact that you're going to kind of put your own timeline on it is, I think it's a little bit selfish. I think it's feeding into the depopulist agenda as well. Again, I always talk about the forces of good and evil. The depopulist agenda, aka Bill Gates, his years back in the day.
Of reducing population growth, that's this big benefit. The key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health.
Bro, what the fuck you talking about, bruv? So the biggest thing is depopulate is overpopulation. So what's your solution then, innit? Like logically, what's your solution? So you're gonna try cull out people, yeah? What's your process of culling out people? How are you doing that? I think it's all mad still, but boy, yeah. We can go deeper into that on another day. It's just talking mainly about the vasectomy situation. I think it's pulling into depopulist agenda. And then I feel like God's told us to have kids. And then there's another agenda going around for kids. Again, what side are we on? Do you get it? Like, you lot are going to say, oh, I'm overthinking it. I'm going in too deep or whatever. But like at the end of the day, yeah, in the universe, it's scientifically knowledge that there's for every force, there's an opposing force, which is the opposite. Even in an atom, there's a positive and a negative and a neutral. Yeah. So in every decision you make, there's a positive and a negative. Which decision are you gonna? Sorry, for every situation, there's a positive route you can go down and a negative route you could go down. There's always, let's not get twisted. There's not really no neutrals. When you're neutral, you're not saying nothing. So that's the neutral. So if you're deciding to do something, there's a positive and there's a negative. Like for a fact, me making this type of content, I might be doing, it might be negative. I don't know. I don't have an all-seeing eye. I don't know everything, but I'm doing it in good intentions or the positive intentions to kind of give a voice to the people that are for God and want to serve God and want the world to be a better place. Positive messaging, because I feel like there's so much negativity and there's always this side's got the biggest voice and the loudest voice, but there's so many more of us on this side, but we don't talk. So I just want to be an inspiration for more people that are on the side of good to kind of speak out, talk their talk, do what they need to do, and we can all collab and push this agenda rather than listening to this and accepting this agenda. Do you get it? So yeah, man, that's my thoughts on digital ID and vasectomies. Put your comments down below. I know I kind of rambled on. I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm new to this, so give me your feedback, your thoughts, whatever you want down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember, don't get hit with a brick.